Okay, so what if I told you that just one single acre of land could be so much more than a garden? What if it could be a fully interconnected, self-sufficient biological machine? One that practically runs itself. We're about to dive into a system where 11 different species work together in a perfect, zero-waste loop that actually, literally, feeds itself.
Yeah, that quote right there, that's the whole idea in a nutshell. It's a complete paradigm shift. It's all about getting away from the constant work and the high costs, and instead using nature's own genius to create a system that's not just productive, but resilient and, honestly, just plain elegant. But before we can jump into building this amazing machine, we kind of have to get real about the problems it's designed to solve. Because, for anyone who's ever tried small-scale farming, that constant struggle can feel absolutely overwhelming. I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way, it's just a constant battle, right? You're dealing with crazy high costs for things like feed and fuel. It's endless backbreaking labor, and over time your soil just gets depleted and dies. The new way, it completely flips that on its head. We're talking about a zero-waste, self-sustaining system where nature itself becomes your main workforce. So, the big question is, how do we get there? Well, the answer is pretty incredible. It lies in completely redesigning how we think and really embracing this concept of the farm as a biological machine. This right here is the secret sauce. See, it's not just about having a bunch of different animals and plants on a piece of land. It's a stacked, integrated ecosystem. A better way to think about it is like a series of gears in a perfectly designed machine. The output from one gear, what we might call its waste, becomes the essential input, the fuel, for the very next gear. It creates this perfect, closed loop of energy and nutrients. And this is probably the single most important rule you need to remember for this whole system to work. In a biological machine, there is no such thing as waste. Every single output, whether it's kitchen scraps or animal manure, is an incredibly valuable resource just waiting to be converted into something useful. All right, so who are the key players on this dream team? There are 11 of them, but instead of just running down a boring list, let's group them by what they do, by their specific job inside our machine. First up, we have the waste converters, and honestly, these guys are the engines of the whole system. You've got black soldier flies, which are just incredible. They aren't pests, they're like these tiny, hyper-efficient factories that turn organic waste into larvae packed with 40% protein. Then you have rabbits, whose manure is a gardener's dream because it's cold, meaning you can put it directly on plants without any risk of burning them. And Kunado pigs, a smaller, super hardy breed that's perfect for this scale. They're fantastic land clearers, tilling and fertilizing tough areas all on their own. So remember all that amazing protein from the fly larvae? Well, that becomes the perfect fuel for our next crew, the Pest and Weed Patrol. This starts with chickens in mobile tractors who methodically go through garden beds, tilling, debugging, and fertilizing as they go. They're joined by Indian runner ducks, who are total slug and snail assassins that won't tear up your plants. And of course, goats, the ultimate mobile brush clearers for any overgrown patches of land. And finally, to round out the team, we have the ecosystem boosters. Turkeys are basically the farm's radar system, spotting predators from the sky. Geese are the alarm system down on the ground, fiercely protecting the smaller poultry. Sheep act as precision lawnmowers, keeping everything neat. And fish, like tilapia in a small pond, are just amazing. They capture all the nutrient runoff, and in the process, they turn their water into an incredible liquid fertilizer you can use on the entire system.
Okay, so having all these individual players is great, but the real magic, the genius of it all, is how you connect them. We can call it the lazy loop strategy, and trust me, it's all about intelligent design that lets nature and even gravity do all the hard work for you. Just check out this flow for a second. It all kicks off with organic waste, right? That waste feeds the flies and the rabbits, which you can set up in vertically stacked systems where the rabbit droppings fall right into the fly bins. The fly larvae then become this high-protein superfood for the chickens, who in turn till and fertilize the soil. All of that amazing manure enriches the earth, creating this incredibly fertile ground to grow healthy food. It's a perfect self-powering cycle. And this quote right here, it just nails the power of those connections. When you have ducks, their splash pools collect all this nitrogen-rich waste. Now, if you just channel that water downhill to your fruit trees, you're fertilizing them for free. You're not hauling buckets, you're just letting water do what it does. That's the lazy loop in action, pure and simple. So I know what you might be thinking right now. This all sounds absolutely incredible, but maybe also a little overwhelming. Like, how on earth you even begin to build something like this from scratch?
And that's a totally fair question. But here's the secret. You don't try to do it all at once. Nope. You don't need all 11 species on day one. You start with the heart of the machine, the core engine, and you build out from there.
Okay, so here's your game plan, your first steps. First, just focus on nailing down that waste conversion process. Start with that core trio, the black soldier flies to handle waste, the chickens to eat the larvae and prep the soil, and the Kunawuna pigs to clear out tough land. Let them do the heavy lifting of building your soil fertility before you even think about planting a single seed. And right from day one, think smart about placement. Let gravity be your best friend.
So really, it all boils down to this one super powerful idea. Instead of fighting against nature, you design a system where biology itself becomes your greatest ally, your hardest worker. By understanding these connections, you can create a farm that isn't just productive and self-sufficient, but one that truly works for you. So the real question is, what part of this biological machine are you going to build first?